Greetings and welcome to episode 243 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly news and culture video game podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, joined, as always, by a crazy person.
It's Friday. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all doing?
Cardio? Is that what that means?
Well, I'm back on the diet, Amy.
Okay.
Went back on it. Yes, I went back on it. I sponged a little bit over January, maybe a little bit in December as well. January was a month and a half for me and everything. But I with me and my partner back on it. Drinking like 9 liters of water a day now, flushing the system,
Cheers.
keeping the immune system working overtime, getting it working and all like that. Doing the exercises, doing the healthy lifestyle. I was already eating reasonably healthy anyway. I'm vegan anyway, so I was already eating healthy anyway. So, but yes,
I mean,
back on it, Amy.
Everyone's allowed to overindulge in December because it's Christmas.
Yeah, that's true.
Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, you're still allowed. Mm-hmm. Those are the rules.
Hanukkah, and every other version of people who don't celebrate Christmas.
People who do not serve the one Lord, whichever Lord that may be.
We all serve the one Lord. We'll give us great video games this year.
At some point, I hope. Yeah. And yeah. Well, the way your January went, I don't blame you at all for just picking out whatever.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Whatever.
Just a little bit, yeah. But back on it. So yeah, feeling good. I've had a good week. I've got first full week back at college, which is funny because next week I'm not at college. Because it's half term for us now. We're off for a week, so I'm just like, hey, I come back at the right time.
No. Coming back next week would have been coming back at the right time. Just be like, I'm back. Wait, where is everyone? Hello?
Yeah, Teach, where you gone?
Wait, why is everybody leaving? Yeah, cool. That's good.
How's your week been?
Snowy.
Oh hell yeah! Oh my goodness! Oh god, yeah. Like, it's funny that I meant to go on walks this week. Then the weather happened, and I was like, nah. So we're just like walking around the house, up down the stairs, back up down the stairs, back up, doing as best we can, basically, just get the body moving and everything. But oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I was expecting that, but I'm disappointed by the amount of snow we got because everybody was like, it's the big storm with all the snow, and I was like, oh god, this is gonna be good. And then it was like a little bit, and then nothing, and then a little bit, and then nothing, and then a little bit, and then nothing, and it was just like,
it's like you're not even trying. So come on.
I did see a bunch of people with their kids doing whole sledding down the hills. And the kids go out and sled down the hills, and all the parents stand at the top with no masks on, less than 2 meters apart. The usual stuff. Mm-hmm. Going, oh man, I can't believe this lockdown's lasted so long. Wonder why that is.
Wear a mask!
But this isn't a weather report. This is the Words About Games podcast. And this week, we've got some things to talk about.
As always.
It's a good job. So imagine if there was just no news 1 week. That'd be weird.
That'd be an interesting episode if that ever happens.
Nothing happened. You're just scraping the bottom of the barrel for just trying to find anything.
Yeah. The final week of freaking before we went off for Christmas, we were just thinking, hey, probably starts quieting down. Then nah. Big game had to come out and then decide to be a dick
and ruin everything. for
Yeah,
everybody,
so
everywhere. Someone was texting me like, "Did you play Cyberpunk?" And I was like, "No, I didn't play Cyberpunk." And they were like, "Oh, yeah, it's really good apart from all the bugs." And I was like, "All right, okay, cool." Like, I couldn't even muster the strength to pretend to be interested in someone talking to me about Cyberpunk, like, and being like, "Yeah, I really liked it." And I was just like, "Oh, whatever." Like, oh, you said so. You said talked about something completely separate in the next text message. I'll just reply to that one and ignore the Cyberpunk one because I'm
I do
out.
this.
I'm out of enthusiasm for even talking about any of it
That's fair. That's fair.
at this point. But in this week's episode, we're discussing the ESA's plans for E3 2021. Warner Brothers patenting a gameplay mechanic. We'll actually talk about it this week. Because I said that in the
Yeah, you
opening of
skipped over
last
that
week,
last week.
and I
Yeah.
scrolled down the thing too far and didn't notice. Till I was doing the timestamps for the video, and then I was like, oops. I must have scrolled down too far. But it's fine, because...
People are still talking about it, so
No, it's fine, because in last week's episode, it would have been like, well, they're trying, but then they succeeded. So then it's like, well, we just talk about them succeeding and how terrible that is. Also, Riot Games CEO is being sued for sexual harassment. That's not a... I didn't forget to delete anything. That is a news story. Yay. And more things as well. There are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube, as well as in the descriptions of wherever you get the podcast, if you listen to it as an audio podcast. So, you can skip around, check out what we talk about, see if there's anything that you specifically want to hear about, watch the whole podcast backwards. We don't mind. We're just happy that you're here.
do some cardio while you're there.
You don't have to do cardio. Like, if you listen to this podcast on a bus, do not do what Mooney's doing right now, which is like, you'd end up punching people left and right. You don't have to do that. It's fine. This isn't a workout podcast.
Do the bolt.
Nobody has to work out along with us. Like, even I'm not doing it. That was enough. I'm done.
Stay hydrated, ladies and gentlemen.
Stay hydrated. You should always stay hydrated. Because then you can get lots of exercise. Peeing all the time. It's great. Love it. Should we talk about some video game stuff?
Well, we're here for that, so I guess why not?
Yeah, we could just talk about some TV or something. What you've been watching
Fine,
recently.
Let's talk about TV. Okay, what's happening in TV?
Gee, I wonder
Disney sacked somebody.
I wonder if anything interesting has happened in the world of TV. Anyone got fired for being a horrible person? E3 2021 may be digital, as ESA says it's transforming the gaming showcase. This is from Taylor Lyles over at The Verge. He writes, the Entertainment Software Association has announced that E3 2021 is happening this year, and it could be going digital, according to Video Games Chronicle. The event will be held from June 15th through June 17th. Quote, we can confirm that we are transforming the E3 experience for 2021, an ESA spokesperson told The Verge, and will soon share exact details on how we're bringing the global video game community together, end quote. According to Video Games Chronicle, the ESA has outlined its plans for E3 2021, with intentions to hold multiple 2-hour keynote sessions from games partners, an awards show, a preview night on June 14th, plus some small streams from various games publishers, influencers, and media partners. Video Games Chronicle also notes that the ESA has outlined proposals that the broadcast event would be supplemented by media previews the week before, and game demos slated to appear at the event would be released on consumer platforms. The ESA would also allow partner companies to remotely stream playable game demos to the media across, quote, thousands of scheduled meetings. While the entire plan sounds ambitious, it still requires approval from the ESA's membership, which is made up of some of the industry's biggest companies, which also hold significant influence over the structure of the event. Traditionally, E3 has been one of the biggest weeks in the gaming industry, with the event showcasing some of the year's largest announcements. However, in recent years, the ESA has faced pressure with redefining E3 as major publishers, such as Sony, have opted to skip the event entirely in favour of hosting its own events around the week E3 is normally held. Following E3's cancellation, many digital events were held to fill the void, most notably Summer Games Fest hosted by industry veteran Jeff Keighley. This is the first time the ESA is holding E3 after the organisation cancelled E3 2020 due to concerns about the COVID-19 pandemic. But E3 is not the only event that plans to go digital this year due to the pandemic. Activision Blizzard plans to host an online-only BlizzCon from February 19th through February 20th.
They're going to go digital. We know they are.
I mean, yeah, it's like they might go digital. If you looked outside lately, guys, you're definitely gone digital.
Yeah, you're going digital. Even if, like I know, like, they probably were looking at the Super Bowl over the weekend. They had 25,000 people there, but they were all inoculated and were all social distancing and wearing masks and everything. E3 is 9 times out of 10 outlets to go there. The IGNs, the GameSpots, the kind of funnies, the Game Informers, and everyone else. They basically all say one of them out of each outlet is all going to come back ill. Like, that's just a process that happens at E3. You go to E3, you're probably going to come back with the E3 plague, or someone is anyway. Now you throw in the context of there's an actual plague out there going around destroying the planet and stopping everyone having a normal life. No, of course they're going to go full digital. We all know they are. Don't even put it in the byline. We might go this. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
I honestly believe the ESA, right, is incompetent enough to try to put on E3 2021 as a convention. A non-online convention. I really do.
The only way they can do a quote-unquote convention, first, I apologize for putting in the first time there, is that they only allow the news outlets go, and even then it's still dicey. Because that are still hundreds of people going. And for me, you would have to say all of them need to be vaccinated. All of them would have to be. For me, that's the only way the ESA should allow anything like this to happen. And those are the only people who should be allowed to go anyway at this moment in time. But I still wouldn't do it. I know what you're saying. ESA, they are incompetent as hell, and they are probably trying to the damnedest to try and do something where people can come. And we both agree that we know they are. But come on, man, seriously, this is no, just no. Microsoft are going said they're going full digital. They said they're not going to do any live events for the next 18 months. That was sometime last year. They said that. They said they won't be at E3 this year doing the normal E3 thing. It's going to be a digital event from them, they say. So if they're going to do it, you can do it, ESA.
Yeah, well, don't. Hopefully they don't. I have no faith in the ESA, but let's see. The E3 being back is going to be maybe cool. I don't know. It depends what E3 actually is at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Like, until they come out and say whenever, like I said, they said in a couple of weeks or whatever, or shortly or whatever they said in it, they're going to talk about soon. We'll share details soon. How soon is soon? It's good. Like, we're in February now. We'll be in March in a couple of weeks' time, and then we're only 4 months away from you, sweetheart. So, D3, you got to hurry the hell up if you want to actually do ESA. The ESA, you need to hurry the hell up to actually do anything here. But it's a whole thing right now. Like, I can appreciate you want to do this. This is obviously this whole E3 affects so many things of not just games industry, but also helps so many industries to plan out, to bring in a lot of revenue for like people coming to stay at hotels and buying foods and coming to do all the constructions and everything. I know that's a lot of revenue for a lot of people to do that, and that's a lot of jobs missing out. I can appreciate that. But for me, at this moment in time, I would speak, this is me basically speaking, not just to the ESA, but basically everybody. Just take the hit, this extra hit this year again. Take the hit. We can survive.
So that was That was me trying to segue that into a discussion about E3 was too subtle. So let me try that again. What do you think the online E3 is going to be like this year, Moody? I try to subtly guide us towards it.
My apologies.
It's okay. It's a point worth repeating. It's fine.
That's true.
Multiple 2-hour keynotes.
You would hope there's some kind of conferences where there's proper things that get, or not proper, rephrase that, like there's from studios, Ubisofts, the EAs, maybe Microsoft does turn up and does a thing at E3, doing the E3 thing like they did last time. EA aren't even technically there. They do their own thing just during E3 type of thing. Ubisoft, maybe PlayStation decide to say they're going to do something not with E3, but they're going to do it around the same time like they normally, I think maybe they do that. Who knows? Like there's a lot of things going on right now. It's going to be fascinating, and it'll go through a lot of keynote speaks. So, which interesting people wants to come on and talk about their games?
Who's got games? Who's got games? You got games? You got games? You got games? I don't know.
The thing is about when it comes to keynotes, it's interesting for like you and me because like we don't just play games. We research about the games. We absorb about them. And I'm not saying not everyone does this. Well, 9 times out of 10, when people watch them, they're just like they rarely listen. Like if there's people there going in, oh my god, I'm learning from the master here who did the best coding ever or whatever, or is one of the best environmental artists, or who's just a legend in directing for a game, and and it's just like I am not worthy type of thing. But there's someone that's just there because they're a fan, but they're not really listening at the same time. So
yeah, I mean, I imagine they're gonna have the big guns of whatever, whoever wants to turn up. Microsoft doing a digital event, for example. Maybe Sony comes back because they do a state of play or what. That's what it's called, right? PlayStation.
Yeah, they do they
do a PlayStation Direct, and Microsoft do an Xbox Direct, and Nintendo do a Nintendo Direct.
Well, we got to think that all three of them are planning something soon, or plan to do something in the next, say, 5 months, because like they've just thrown out new consoles. Like, well, I don't know. PlayStation really don't need to do that because we're going to be talking about one of the things in a bit shortly further down the timeline about it. So really, PlayStation don't really need to if they don't want to.
Well, no one needs to if they don't want to. But also,
yeah,
I mean, how many times have we been around and around doing this? It's like if PlayStation don't do it and Xbox do, all the talk is about Xbox.
That's true. That's true.
Whoever
all
turns
three
up
of them are going to do something soon in the next 4 months. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Take it to the bank.
Yeah, hopefully it's around at E3. I don't know, like my will was broken a little bit by the Summer Games Fest last year because it was so long and there were so many different things, and eventually it was just like started repeating itself where it would be like, here's the trailer for this game. It's like I saw this 3 months ago in this other game showcase, and now I'm seeing it again. Great. It's like I just watched the Epic Games showcase.
Yeah.
Or I tried.
What the Summer Game Fest proved to us was that we're only there for 2 or 3 things, and that was the conferences / state of play / Microsoft event things that we all wanted to see. All the other little things, sadly, we were just not there for, and we did enjoy some of the things. Like,
no, I'm always there for it. But
the
problem is when it's spread out over 4 months, and it's like, okay, now you get to watch this in June, but now you get to watch this in August, and it's like, okay, and then there's this other thing, and it's like, all right, okay, cool. Like when it's all concentrated in a one massive burst that I can pay attention to for a week, maybe it's just my ADD. I'm just like, hard to concentrate on something for 4 months.
The thing is also we're used to getting pretty much all the information within 3-4 days of each other. Obviously, when E3 happens, and obviously E3 wasn't last year, and it was spread out over 4 months. Now, I'll shout out this respect to Jeff Keighley for what he did. He worked his ass off to do it, but my goodness, like we all agreed by the end of it was like, wow, this feels long just to get to this information. PlayStation, what you doing? Where are you? Oh, we're going here. Okay, fine. We have a date. What? Blah blah and type of this. Oh, Microsoft, you're going to do this, etc., etc. It was Oh, it was
It's
long
like,
by
yeah,
the end of it.
Microsoft, we're going to do 3 showcases, and then they do them, and it's just like, this could have been 1 showcase.
Yeah.
And it
And
would have
then
been
everyone
really
at the same
good.
time is like, Nintendo, where you at? Nintendo's like, oh, we're okay. We're soaking in that Animal Crossing money, so we're good.
Yeah, and then you get, by the time we got to Gamescom, and then I remember watching Gamescom last year, and I was just not, I wasn't there for it, Mooney.
Yeah.
Like, it was meant to be the big finale, but it was like, it's like that TV show that goes on for like 10 seasons, and you're binging it, and it's like, you love like the first 4 or 5 seasons, they're amazing. And then you watch the rest of it because, you know,
You're already
you're
invested with these
invested
characters.
and you want to watch it, but it's not quite as good. And then by the time you get to the end, it's just like, is this over yet? Can I stop watching this yet? That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like with the Summer Games Fest. And then, like, by the time there was an actual break between Gamescom and the Game Awards, I came back for the game. You came back for the Game Awards, being like, yeah, okay, I'm ready for new game information.
It was that one.
It turns out you can have too much of a good thing.
You really can, yeah. So E3, come back, get Jeff Keighley back, do that awards thingy with him, but have him doing the whole producing, presenting thingy, and let him and just give him reign, man. Just give him reign. You gotta think they're probably talking, or at least they've spoken a little bit, because I know he left, didn't they? But maybe they're talking. He's like, okay, I need your help here. You need my help. What can we do to try and sort things out here to make it a week event for everyone to get all the information out, what they need to know, so the gamers get what they want, you get what you want, and I get what I want, blah, blah, blah.
And we get a podcast.
And we get to watch it.
And we get to watch and Rick's podcast.
Sounds.
It's great, yeah. Be like, you thumbs
More
up,
sounds.
thumbs down, whatever.
And maybe go, you're breathtaking. At least something came good out of that part.
Let's move on.
Why not?
Don't
forget about this one now.
Brothers finally secures patent for Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis system. Oh, even just reading the headline. This is from James Batchelor over at GamesIndustry.biz. He writes, Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment has been issued a patent for the Nemesis AI system found in Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, and it's secret. I think that's meant to be sequel. It says secret. I copied this directly from GamesIndustry.biz and it says secret. IGN.
GamesIndustry.biz. Like, come on, man.
It's awkward. IGN reports the US Patent and Trademark Office released an issue notice last week, although at the time of writing, the notice appears to be offline. According to IGN, the patent protects the Nemesis characters, Nemesis thoughts, social vendettas, and followers in computer games. This encompasses a hierarchy of procedurally generated NPCs that interact with and remember the player's actions. The patent also covers changes to the NPCs' positions in the hierarchy, as well as their appearance and behavior, again based on the actions of the player. Finally, it includes the social conquest battles from the 2017 sequel Shadow of War, which allowed players to use those NPCs to defend their own strongholds and attack those of other players. The patent will go into effect on February 23rd,
the week away.
And providing they continue paying the fees, could be maintained until 2035. Any developers who build game features that include all of the above aspects, or enough to risk infringing the patent, must purchase a license from Warner Brothers.
Money. This sucks.
Do you remember how cool the Nemesis system was?
Yeah, they haven't touched it since.
They haven't done anything with it.
Nope.
There's probably not going to be another Shadow game for a very long time.
Nope. They just clearly, they knew they had a good thing, then they threw out a terrible sequel in Shadow of War, and then that's just the game in general. I'm not even talking about the bloody predatory microtransactions they threw in it. Just the game in general was just crap.
Well, I mean, to rewind my brain back to 2017 when I reviewed the game, the problem wasn't that the game necessarily was bad. The problem was that the way the Nemesis system, which was the main thing in the game, like of pushing the game forward, was built to encompass loot boxes, broke the entire game.
Yeah, there was a lot of things, but yeah. So basically, that means every company now is going to try and patent the thing that they created years ago to try and stop, so they can get raking a lot of money from every single developer, but on the planet.
Except no one's going to do that.
Yes, they're not.
Like, no one's going to buy a license for a Nemesis style system from Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers isn't going to do. Warner Brothers didn't even create the Nemesis system. I just want to point out that was Monolith, and also like, yeah, no one's going to do it. So the Nemesis system is dead. Like, no one, like, that's it. It's done. It's finished.
Yeah, it's not gonna. It's not. No one's gonna buy it. No one's gonna try and pay a license for it. No one's gonna do any of these things that Warner Brothers think they're gonna. They're probably thinking, "Oh, we're so smart. We're now gonna get money from people who want to use it and everything." And maybe people have asked to use it and everything like that, and thinking, "Oh, we might be able to do something like this to patent it."
Well, no,
but now, as they know it's patent, they're just gonna be like, "Nah, man."
Because this is why no one's made a game with similar features in the past 5 years.
There's that as well, yeah.
Because obviously they've been chasing the patent, and if they get the patent, then they would have to pay. So they haven't done it, and now it's done. One of the most interesting, one of the few interesting new gameplay mechanics of the last generation, and it's done. 2 games and done. And the second game, you fucking destroyed it because you decided to monetize it.
I think it's gonna be the next the Gotham Knights thing.
Congratulations. Like, it was, like, yeah, it would be great in a Batman game. Like, I don't know whether they put it in. I don't know whether they're going to put it in that. Like,
they haven't said anything. I think if it was in, they would have said by now. So
I imagine, it would have been mentioned because it's a big deal. It would be a big deal if they did that.
Yeah. Warner Brothers, congratulations. You want to be a dick? All right.
Yeah. Well, it's like of all the games that they could have spun a patent off, it had to be Shadow of Mordor. Which, let's be fair, borrows highly liberally from several other video games.
Assassin's Creed.
Anyone?
Yeah. So many games.
But this is the thing.
Every single game steals from something. That's the thing about it.
It's not stealing, it's iteration. It's how a creative industry works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you imagine if the person who used CGI in the first time, like, they used CGI in a movie, and then the studio that owned it was like, well, we've patented CGI. Like,
it is ours.
That's it. It's ours. No one else can use CGI. It's like, it's the same thing here. Like, if Assassin's Creed had patented, like, the third person free running that they originally used when they originally made Assassin's Creed, because I remember that was their big thing, Shadow of Mordor wouldn't have even existed. Because that game is Assassin's Creed with a Nemesis system and a Lord of the Rings filter over it. And I'm deeply annoyed by this. And if other companies start following suit, like, video games are going to get really shit really fast. Because no one's going to be able to do anything.
That's the thing about it, yeah. Hopefully this will not... Like, I know... shout out to Jim Sterling's video. They say, the Nando Bingo, they had a pattern, apparently. Which
on loading screens.
Ran out of,
games and loading screens. Yeah. That's why you couldn't have games in loading screens.
Yeah. So it's just like... But that's run out now, I think they said on the video. So, yeah, it's... I
haven't watched that yet. But, yeah, I know about the patent, about loading screen mini games.
Spoilers for the little bit of the video. My apologies. It's a great video still.
Okay.
Go and support them. But no, yeah, it's crap. It's crap. What more can we say? It's crap. Let's just hope it doesn't. Let's just hope it doesn't make of, like what you said, a dark line that other companies try and do.
It's a precedent. We'll see what happens. If you see other companies starting to do this, video games are in trouble. Next story. Riot Games CEO sued for sexual harassment. This is from Jody McGregor over at PC Gamer. He writes, last month, former Riot Games employee Sharon O'Donnell filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against both the company and its CEO, Nicolo Laurent. Laurent? Laurent. Laurent.
Laurent?
Laurent. A copy of the complaint was obtained by Vice Games. Before being fired in July of 2020, O'Donnell acted as Laurent's executive assistant. The suit alleges that, among other things, Laurent told O'Donnell to be more feminine, asked if she could handle him when they were alone at his house, and told her that she could come over to his house when his wife was away, obviously implying that they should have sex, because cum is... you get it. The lawsuit also alleges that Laurent suggestively described his underwear size, said that, quote, his wife was jealous of beautiful women, quote, end quote, and, bizarrely, told women working at Riot that they should deal with the stress of COVID-19 pandemic by having children. The lawsuit claims that after resisting Laurent's alleged advances, O'Donnell was punished by not being paid for overtime or given meal breaks and then fired. A spokesperson for Riot disputed this, telling Vice that, quote, the plaintiff was dismissed from the company over 7 months ago based on multiple, well-documented complaints from a variety of people, end quote. Riot tells Vice that it has initiated an investigation into O'Donnell's other claims and that because the accused is an executive leader, the investigation will be handled by an outside law firm and overseen by a special committee from the company's board of directors. Quote, our CEO has pledged his full cooperation and support during this process, and we're committed to ensuring that all claims are thoroughly explored and appropriately resolved. End quote. After Kotaku published a report on the culture of sexism at Riot Games in 2018, the company was sued for gender discrimination in a class action lawsuit. Riot agreed to pay $10 million to settle, divided among the roughly 1,000 women who worked at the studio between November 2014 and the time the settlement was finalized. That offer was later withdrawn after the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing filed a document proposing that the plaintiffs were owed more, suggesting the amount be raised to over $400 million. I kept that last paragraph in, just, I know we only talked about it last week, but I feel like it was worth remembering in the context of all of the rest of the...
Yeah, so I'm just writing in my notes for future me. Do not apply for a job at Riot Games. ... If you did not already know that. Future Moody to past Moody. Yeah, it's oh, for God's sakes, man. Seriously, Riot Games, man. Come on, man. You've got one of the biggest games in the world, and you've got one of the shittest company. You're one of the shittest companies out there who has a CEO who allegedly has said vile, disgusting things to women, to his ex-assistant, as a former assistant, to come over, possibly to have sex, implying it, basically. You can see it in the words and everything. Then basically saying, women go out and just get pregnant during COVID-19, basically. It's like, come on, man, seriously? Come on. This is like...
I know. It's just like, you're a piece of shit. And I know there's the bit here where it's like, well, no, Riot Games, no, that wasn't a thing. We fired the plaintiff for completely legitimate reasons. I'm sure you did. I'm running out of things to say to Riot Games, to be perfectly frank.
Games, you suck.
The investigation will be handled by an outside law firm, but will be overseen by a special committee from the company's board of directors. Gee, I wonder what the results of this investigation are going to be.
Just like another certain trial that's going on right now.
Yeah, right? It's like, oh yeah, it's totally impartial. It's being overseen by the board of directors. They don't have a vested interest in not finding any information in this whatsoever. And you know what? Some people might look at what I've just said and go, Amy, that's really cynical. How dare you? And I'll go, listen, you haven't been talking about Riot Games since 2018 about how shitty they are.
That's just eerie. I've been reading them since the last year, basically, since I came fully on board with you and everything. But my goodness, yeah. It's like always like once every 3 months, we always get a badgering of stories about the bloody company. It's like, oh, God's sakes, man, seriously. Why do you have to suck? Why?
I don't.
Like, you've got one of the biggest games in the world who consistently has some of the biggest numbers on Twitch, consistently is one of the biggest esports games, consistently one of the most played games in the world, and you've got some vile, disgusting people who run your flipping company. Like, seriously. What the hell? I have to. But my thing is about it. The thing that keeps going in my head is that I have to speak to the people who work there, who are just normal people. Why the hell are you still there? And don't give us the crap of, I am passionate about this game. I am passionate about this company or anything like that. If I was at a company and this was going on, I would have literally freaking left and called every one of you out for the shit. It's like,
I don't know.
I have to ask that. Why are you all still there?
I think some people might be passionate about getting paid, like money.
Well, it's called you find a job first before you just walk out. All right? Not saying walk out without a job.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there.
Then leave.
As someone who has received that advice, well, why don't you just find a different job? Like,
thank you for correcting me with the statement I was saying there. What I mean is, yes, find a job, then leave. But my goodness, man, come on, man. There's a level here. Like, this company's been shot on since 2018, and it's had, to what I can remember, nothing good has come out about them since 2018. It's always been about something they've tried to do, or something that has happened, or some lawsuits, or some sexual harassments, abuses, racism, whatever, the whole freaking shebang basically from them. It's all there for them, and it just constantly keeps happening.
yeah. That's right. Yeah. Speaking of terrible companies, Ubisoft are moving away from reliance on AAA releases. This is from Rebecca Valentine over at IGN, who writes, Ubisoft doesn't want to be as reliant on AAA game releases as it has in the past. There's an existential question there about what constitutes like Ubisoft is a AAA video game publisher. Any game they release is a AAA game. Yeah, okay. And will instead look more closely at free-to-play games and its back catalogue to make money. In an earnings call following the company's Q3 financial results, the publisher said that its plans for fiscal 2022, the period from April 2021 through to March 2022, included 3 AAA game releases, but that in the future, Ubisoft didn't want AAA games to be the focus of its business model as a AAA publisher. Quote, we said for a number of years that our normal template is to come with either 3 or 4 AAA games, so we'll stick to that plan for fiscal 2022, said CFO Frederick Douay. But we see that we are continuously moving from a model that used to be only focused on AAA releases to a model where we have a combination of strong releases from AAA and strong back catalogue dynamics, but also complementing our program of new releases with free-to-play and other premium experiences. End quote. Which I assume are all AAA games because they're a AAA publisher. I don't think I'm going to let that one go. He went on to specify that the company had a number of titles, AAA and otherwise, in the pipeline, naming Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Quarantine, Skull and Bones, Riders Republic, The Prince of Persia Sands of Time Remake, and Roller Champions. He also...
7 games in it, yeah?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep.
7 AAA games there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Like, just because Roller Champions isn't an open world sandbox bollocks doesn't mean it's not a AAA game by a AAA publisher. He also nodded to a previously announced Assassin's Creed mobile game plan to come to China with the help of Ubisoft investor Tencent, which he said was a part of the company ramping up its investment and interest in free-to-play games, especially on mobile. Mobile currently makes up about 9% of the company's total business. Quote, in fiscal 2022, we will continue our evolution from a AAA release-centric model towards a model where AAA stands alongside new premium and free-to-play innovative experiences across platforms. These diverse experiences will feed on each other throughout complementary gameplay and business models, end quote. Notably, there wasn't a single mention on the call about Ubisoft's free-to-play battle royale Hyperscape, which flopped tremendously at launch and is currently undergoing an overhaul. Elsewhere in the call, CEO Yves Guillemot also noted that the company's back catalogue, or its already released games that are still bringing in revenue long term, will also play a heavier role in the company's revenues in the future, and already are. As an example, 6-year-old Rainbow Six Siege added 15 million new players in the last 12 months, growing to 70 million total players since launch, and is still a major revenue driver for the publisher. Quote, we are continuing to move towards an increasingly pronounced recurrence of our revenues on the back of growing audiences, said Gilmore. Therefore, we expect our highly profitable back catalogue to account for an even larger share of our business going forward. End quote. End article, Moody. I also noticed they didn't mention anything about that in ongoing investigation about years and years of sexual harassment and abuse in the workplace. That they covered up for like a decade.
Yeah, see, the CEO's still there, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the one guy who really should be gone from this company. Yeah. Okay, let's get into the weeds of this. So basically, what I hear from this is that they want to go to free-to-play games so they can microtransaction the shit out of it.
Which are still AAA games.
That's still AAA games, yes. Because if you're trying to do an Apex thing, that is still a AAA game, ladies and gentlemen. Even though it's free-to-play. Fortnite is a AAA game, ladies and gentlemen. Even though it's free-to-play.
Fortnite isn't a AAA game because it's free. Like, fuck off, mate. Come on.
I said it is.
No, not you. I'm not telling you to fuck off.
I was thinking, did I say that? I was thinking, wait.
I'm telling Ubisoft to fuck off. Like,
oh,
no,
yeah.
Fuck
okay,
off,
yeah.
mate.
It's
pull the other one.
Amy was already gone when it came to Ubisoft.
I'm out. I'm done.
Way before I think the whole sexual things came out. You were already pretty much gone from them anyway because of loads of other shit. The games they released last year,
like the games they
as
were
much
releasing.
as some of you may have loved, like I know a friend of mine, Scott Sedman, you loved Valhalla. For me, that game sucked. Watch Dogs 3 sucked, and I know a lot of people praised that Immortals game.
I think everybody has a tolerance level for Ubisoft games, right?
Yeah,
because I feel like at this point we can call them Ubisoft games because they're all the same fucking game over and over again. And I think
before you go on your rant, I just want to say it because that's what you're going to get with your Star Wars game, ladies and gentlemen.
So, like, yeah, it's like they do quirky, strange, interesting stuff. Well, they used to, like Rayman and Mario and Rabbids and the UbiArts games like Valiant Hearts. Yeah, it's just like they do some cool, quirky stuff. Now they just release the same game every few months, or like, if it's 2020, every few weeks.
Yeah, you got Far Cry 6 coming sometime this year. Me and Amy have no hype for this game whatsoever because we know what we're getting from this game.
It's a Ubisoft game, and I'm sick of pretending otherwise. Like people just have a built-in tolerance, and I reached my tolerance.
And I think I've reached my tolerance.
Like in 2019, I think I reached my tolerance with Ubisoft games, and I feel like you reached your tolerance last year, and other people will reach their tolerance for these games because, again, like they're the same experience. And I know, well, Far Cry's a first-person shooter and Assassin's Creed's an RPG. It's like, yeah, but
the worst thing is that I'm waiting for, because I can see this happening for me in the future. I loved Origins. I loved Odyssey. Didn't like Valhalla. I can see the next Assassin's Creed game coming out, and I'm going, oh my god, that was so good. And I'm just like, God damn it, you hypocrite. Say, well, the entire planet's hypocrites, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, like whatever you like, and not like whatever you don't like. Like,
yeah.
I might pick up Assassin's Creed, whatever the fuck's next, and play it and be like, hey, this is great. I mean, it hasn't happened for 6 years, but you know.
Ten, I bet you right now, after the success of Ghost of Tsushima, we're getting that Samurai Assassin's Creed game.
Ubisoft is nothing if not following trends. Yeah, what was the last
We've
Ubisoft?
listened to you. Finally, after 20 years of everyone wanting another Samurai Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
We give you what you want.
Honestly, feel like the last Ubisoft game I actually did enjoy was Shadow of Mordor.
My brain had to click there a little bit. I won't lie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I just wanted to leave it hanging. I just wanted to just leave it there for a second, you know, just let people get to it, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever they're gonna do, whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna do what brings Ubisoft them more money and everything like that.
Oh yeah, big style.
So,
like, they're revamping Hyperscape because everybody already forgot about it.
Well, it died.
They're gonna rename Rainbow Six Quarantine because who the fuck's gonna release a game called Quarantine in 2021? They keep insisting Skull and Bones exists.
Yeah, it's getting a complete rework apparently.
But they failed to mention Beyond Good and Evil 2, which strengthens the point I was making a couple of months ago with you, Moody. And I think it was our most anticipated games discussion. I think. Well, you don't think Beyond Good and Evil 2? And I was like, I don't think Beyond Good and Evil 2 is happening.
Yeah.
I don't think it exists.
The guy went off the stage and said, "We did it! Shit, we have to make it now!"
Yeah. It's not, nah. So yeah, like now you see where they're like, we're making 3 AAA games for release in fiscal year 2022. Like, great, but now they've redefined what their games are. Like that, we're releasing this game, but that's the 4th game you've released this year. But it's not a AAA game. I beg to differ. Maybe the Division 3 will be a free-to-play game, and it'll come out next year, and they'll be like, but it's not a AAA game because it's free. Now, please buy all of our DLC so you can play the game fully anyway. I don't like... I just...
All I hear is, we're games of servicing the shit out of these things, but we're going to make it free to make you think so you don't have to buy stuff, but we're going to get you to buy stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, big style.
I'm just opening my window.
Can't wait for that Star Wars game that I'm never going to play. Let's move on. I'll read this while Moody opens his window. One of the most controversial video games of the 2000s is being released. This is from Charlie Hall over at Polygon. He writes, 6 Days in Fallujah, the controversial shooter set during the Iraq War, is finally coming out nearly 12 years after it was first announced. According to a news release from the game's publisher, the tactical game will be based on true stories gathered from members of the military as well as Iraqi civilians who lived through the Second Battle of Fallujah in 2004. Developing the title is High Wire Games, a company created by Jamie Griesemer, game designer for Halo and Infamous franchises. He's joined by Marty O'Donnell, audio director and composer on Halo and Destiny, as well as by Bungie's forward design director, character, vehicle, and weapon artists. The team also includes Jared Knoftel, the co-founder of Airtight Games, which made Murdered Soul Suspect and Dark Void. Victura, a company founded by former Bungie vice president Peter Tamty, will publish the game. Tamty was also involved in the original version of 6 Days in Fallujah. 6 Days in Fallujah was originally announced in 2009. At the time, it was in development as a third-person shooter at Atomic Games for PS3, Xbox 360, and Windows PC, and Konami planned to publish it. Shortly after the game's original announcement, however, multiple groups came forward to criticize the concept of the game. That backlash, which made the rounds of international media, eventually led to publisher Konami dropping out. Quote, After seeing the reaction to the video game in the United States and hearing opinions sent through phone calls and email, we decided several days ago not to sell it, end quote, a Konami spokesperson told Japanese newspaper Asahi at the time. Atomic Games was shuttered in 2011 after releasing the game Breach. Highwire Games' version of 6 Days in Fallujah is coming to unspecified console and PC platforms in 2021. It will be a tactical first-person military shooter. The city of Fallujah was originally taken and held by the United States military during the early weeks of the 2003 Iraq War. In 2004, the city became a hotspot, drawing in fighters from around the country and beyond. Fighting there cost countless civilian and insurgents their lives. The fractious state eventually led to the death of several private military contractors from Blackwater, USA, their bodies mutilated and dragged through the streets. The images of their corpses hung from a bridge were widely shared by the international press, helping to make the city a focal point of the occupation. A siege of the city in April 2004, known as the First Battle of Fallujah, proved inconclusive. Coalition forces, which included US, British and Iraqi units, redoubled their efforts in November of that year with Operation Phantom Fury, also known as the Second Battle of Fallujah. Official records indicate more than 13,000 ground troops faced off against approximately 4,000 dug-in insurgents. Thousands more civilians were trapped in between. The result was some of the fiercest urban fighting for Western forces since the 1968 Battle of Human Vietnam, and an estimated 800 civilian deaths, according to the International Red Cross. The engagement is mired in conflict, not least of which is the contested legality of the Iraqi war itself. First-hand accounts indicate that coalition forces prevented military-aged males from leaving the city ahead of the Second Battle of Fallujah, thereby contributing to civilian deaths. Others maintain that white phosphorus munitions were used as an offensive weapons in combination with high explosives, which could put Western forces at odds with the modern rules of war. Quote, "Sometimes the only way to understand what's true is to experience reality for yourself," said former Marine Sergeant Eddie Garcia, who was quoted in Thursday's news release. Garcia originally proposed the idea for 6 Days in Fallujah in 2005. Not only did he participate in the battle, but was wounded during the fighting. Well, that's a bit missing from that history lesson that I just read out for you, where there was a higher, of people who lived in Fallujah, and children who were born in Fallujah had a higher rate of cancer because the coalition forces allegedly used uranium-depleted munitions in the battle as well. So, war crimes, yay!
I don't know what to say. I knew about obviously the things that happened in the Iraq War and everything like that, but I didn't know there was a game getting made about it. I'm not gonna lie.
There was, and then there wasn't. Obviously, it was first revealed in 2009, and then everybody kind of pointed out why it was a terrible idea to make a video game about
this certain thing.
about this. And then, weirdly enough, the United States Army is pretty unpopular at the moment, and apparently recruitment numbers are at an all-time low. And then suddenly this tactical first-person shooter video game is coming out with lots of input from the United States military and the Department of Defense. And I'm sure those two things are completely unrelated.
I don't want to touch this story. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just this is a minefield of all over the place shit. I'm not educated on it, so I'm very, very hesitant to say anything on it, Amy. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair enough. I can keep talking. Don't make a video game about real world war crimes. Well, I mean, I was going to say you and I, but I'm going to talk around Mooney for a second here, and I'm going to talk directly to the camera, to the people watching this. You and I both know that this video game is not going to present the United States military in the way that they probably were in this conflict. And I'm not talking about the soldiers on the ground, because, they have very little to do with the war crime that was the Iraqi war. The use of white phosphorus, the civilian casualties, the alleged use of white phosphorus, the actual civilian casualties, and the alleged use of uranium-depleted munitions, and just the general death, carnage, and murder. Don't make a video game about it. And especially don't make a video game glorify the American troops in that conflict, which I'm assuming what this game is going to be based on every other military game I've ever played in my entire life that wasn't called Spec Ops: The Line, which incidentally was made by a German developer, not an American developer. Yeah, like there's no part of my brain that thinks that this is going to be some sort of good thing. But at least, yeah, don't do it. Just it's not worth doing. Real people died. And like these some of the things that happened were war crimes. Don't make a fun video game out of it. Okay. We're done. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable that I think these things need to be said out loud sometimes. But moving on. Cyberpunk 2077 publisher CD Projekt targeted in cyber attack. This is from Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon, who writes, CD Projekt, the company behind Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3, was targeted on Monday in a major cyber attack, according to a statement published on Twitter. Hackers reportedly stole certain data belonging to CD Projekt Capital Group, CD Projekt said. The company said it is currently securing its servers and restoring encrypted data. In the ransom note published by CD Projekt, the hackers said they stole source code for Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of The Witcher 3. The group said it also accessed documents relating to accounting, administration, legal, HR, and investor relations. CD Projekt did not confirm the data stolen, but said in a statement that no personal user data for any of its services was compromised. Polygon has reached out to CD Projekt for more information. Hackers gave CD Projekt 48 hours to initiate contact before, quote, the source code will be sold or leaked online. Your public image will go down the shitter even more, and people will see how shitty your company functions, the hacker said in the note. Investors will lose trust in your company, and the stock will dive even lower, end quote. CD Projekt said it will not negotiate with the hackers. It said it's aware the compromised data may be released, and the company is taking necessary steps to mitigate the consequences of such a release. CD Projekt is working with authorities and IT forensic specialists to investigate the hack. History about CD Projekt Cyberpunk over the last couple of months. CD Projekt, Cyberpunk's launch, company was criticized for poor management, whatever. As well as a history of transphobic marketing. And even despite all that, Moody, this is still bullshit and should never have happened. And you won't find many people who have less sympathy for CD Projekt Red than I do. And this is still bullshit.
I don't know what these hackers were trying to do here. Like, it's just like they never one. Like the whole note sounds like it's a kid, like a child or an immature person.
Immature
thinking, you're not an immature person because you're smart enough to hack into something. So you're not immature. We know you're not, and you're trying to sound hard, I guess, or something. You're trying to sound, I'm smarter than you. See what I did to your shitty your company functions, blah blah blah, type of thing. And it's just like, come on, man, seriously. As much as CD Projekt Red's whole thing right now is reputation and everything is in the gutter and everything like that. They didn't deserve this to happen or anything. The hackers, you're completely out of line, and CD Projekt Red are right to do what they're doing here. They're just like, yo, we're not negotiating with you. Yes, we know you may release certain data of us and everything like that. The backers aren't going to be leaving anywhere, so don't worry about that. They know that they're staying. We know they're not going to go anywhere. So I think the hackers, like, what were they thinking they're going to be able to succeed from this? Come on, man, seriously. There's stupid stories, and there's literally stupid stories, and this is a stupid story because of how stupid the hackers are coming across. Not because of how serious this thing is. This is an incredibly serious thing for like CD Projekt, the CD Projekt Red in general, to the staff and everything like that. It's a whole craziness of crap. But
well,
it's been a weird week with news.
They're just looking to get paid. That's it.
Yeah,
because they're going to sell the source code.
or they're just going to release it online.
No, they'll sell it. They'll sell it so they can make money.
But then it just goes to the thinking, whoever buys that, you're just like, ooh, well, we just know you. We know you're a shitty person as well, so we're not even going to be listening to you, mate.
Yeah.
So it's just like
the hackers don't give a shit. If someone gives them a ton of money for the source code for Cyberpunk and The Witcher, they give a fuck. They'll get paid. Like, it's not me excusing it. I'm just, that's their motivation to get paid for it. And yeah, regardless of any other problems with Cyberpunk or CD Projekt, I have many.
We all have many right now. Yeah.
No, this is not cool. This is not okay.
Mm-hmm.
This seems to be happening a lot. We've had the Capcom hacks. We had
the Naughty Dog one last year as well.
Hacks. And it's just stop it. Like, I wish
is it because we're all pretty much all working from home and everything? They don't have a safer infrastructure than they would have work. I'm guessing.
You can keep stuff on a closed network in an office building, but if everybody needs access to stuff, then I guess it's just
easy to get into.
I imagine it's not easy, but it's easier than it would be if it was on a server in a building. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not like. Yeah, Naughty Dog could keep their cutscenes and everything for The Last of Us Part 2 on a closed server, like a closed internal server, like in the office, like if they were all working in their office, but obviously with people working everywhere, like in all their houses and whatnot, obviously then that has to be an online situation, which is then susceptible to being hacked, like everything else.
Just don't be a douche, ladies and gentlemen. CD Projekt Red might be a crappy company right now and being a pain in the ass, but just don't be a douche. Like, seriously.
I mean, I wish. Just, do you know what would be great? Do you know what would be great, Moody? Do you know what would be really awesome?
What?
This podcast every week if people stopped being a dick. This podcast would be fantastic. Could you imagine? Could you imagine an episode where we don't have to talk about sexual harassment, workplace abuse, war crimes, hackers? And that was just today.
Yeah.
That was just today. Like, Jesus Christ. Kowloon Nights announces litany of indie studio partnerships. This is from Eric Van Allen over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, independent funding source Kowloon Nights has kicked off 2021 with a deluge of new partnerships to fund 23 new upcoming games from indie studios. These projects include new unannounced titles from Paradise Killer developer Kaizen Gameworks, Star Renegades developer Massive Damage, Oxenfree and Afterparty studio Night School, Ollie Ollie developer Roll7, Absolver developer Slowclap, and a new game from Thunder Lotus, the team behind last year's Spiritfarer.
God, they're going to break our hearts again.
Kowloon Nights is also supporting several previously unannounced projects, including Rose City Games / Picogram's Garden Story, Sabotage Studios' Sea of Stars, set in the same universe as the developer's prior project, The Messenger, and She Dreams Elsewhere, the debut project from one-person Team Studio Zavir. Founded in 2017, Kowloon Nights says its funding relationship with developers includes a flexible payment schedule, full creative control for studios, no sales threshold before developers start seeing revenue, and allowing developers to own their IP and sequel rights. Quote, we feel Kowloon is uniquely positioned to help developers pursue their visions while building sustainable studios, end quote, said Lindsay Rostal, a partner at Kowloon Nights. This is cool.
Yeah, really cool.
This a lot.
All coming together to help each other out, do things, and it's all, yeah.
Yeah, I like the...
Thunder Lotus, I don't trust your next game because you broke my heart in the last one, so my eyes are on you. In a good way, I love the last game.
Watching you for another game of the year contender.
Yeah. But no, yeah, this is fantastic. This is a great little thing, like all coming together, partnering up.
I mean,
well done, Kowloon Nights. Kowloon.
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 It's Kowloon. Yeah, I'm looking at like the games, like they've listed here, like the developers, like the number of top 10, like Game of the Year games. For me personally, that's just on this list. Like Paradise Killer last year, Oxenfree years ago. Obviously, Spiritfarer. The Messenger was one of my games of the year a few years ago. It's like this, like
It's a sexy list.
it's a sexy list of games that have all been funded with some pretty agreeable terms by the looks and sounds of it, right? Like the no sales threshold before developers start seeing revenue is really good. Like, so under a standard like publishing funding agreement, what happens is like you get X amount of money from your publisher, and then all of the sales revenue goes into paying that back before developers start seeing a profit.
Yeah.
And that's not the case with this Kowloon Nights development fund, and that is fucking awesome
It's
on
good.
its own. Like, and I'm really happy that a bunch of obviously really talented indie developers have found funding.
It's not just Microsoft doing it, ladies and gentlemen.
Indie games, who knew, right? You were supposed to say we knew. Because we knew.
Oh, sorry. We knew. You can edit that out.
Yeah, no, I'll totally do that.
Yeah, no, you will. Yeah.
As if I'm gonna. The Last of Us HBO series casts Pedro Pascal as Joel, Game of Thrones Breakout Bella Ramsey as Ellie. This is from Joe Otteson over at Variety, who writes, the upcoming Last of Us series adaptation at HBO has cast Pedro Pascal as Joel and Bella Ramsey in the role of Ellie, Variety has confirmed. Neil Druckmann, a writer and creative director for The Last of Us video game and a co-creator of the series, confirmed the news about Pascal on Twitter, writing, and there's the other half. Stoked to have Pedro aboard our show. Pascal has seen great success as the star of Disney Plus's The Mandalorian. He also recently appeared as alongside Gal Gadot and Kristen Wiig as the villainous Maxwell Lord in Wonder Woman 1984. Ramsey is best known for her role as Lyanna Mormont and fellow HBO series Game of Thrones. The character Ellie is a 14-year-old orphan who has never known anything but a ravaged planet. In the show, she struggles to balance her instinct for anger and defiance with her need for connection and belonging, as well as the newfound reality that she may be the key to saving the world. Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin is attached to write and executive produce the series along with Druckmann. Carolyn Strauss will also executive produce along with Evan Wells, president of game development studio Naughty Dog. PlayStation Productions Assad Quizzlebash and Carter Swan will also executive produce. Kantamir Balagov is set to direct the pilot. The project is a co-production with Sony Pictures Television. PlayStation Productions, Word Games, and Naughty Dog produce. The project is the first television series from PlayStation Productions. In addition to a scene-stealing role in Game of Thrones, Ramsey also appeared in the HBO BBC One series adaptation of His Dark Materials. Her other TV credits include voicing the lead character in animated series Hilda, as well as starring in The Worst Witch. Her feature credits include Holmes and Watson, Judy, and Resistance. Boom.
This is a cracking cast.
It's good.
Pedro Pascal has been killing it as the Mandalorian. He was obviously a great standout in his one and only season of Game of Thrones, and he also was like a good standout for Wonder Woman 1984. Even though the film personally was not a good film for me, I didn't think it was good, but he was a standout, and he's also he did that drug series on Netflix. Can't remember the name. But yeah, he's in that as well, and he also got a lot of shout out and love for that as well. He's a fantastic actor. What?
He replaced Walton Goggins when Community Cast did that charity read during lockdown.
But yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic in the shows he's been in and everything. The young girl, Bella Ramsey, like no, that's not her name, is it? No. Yeah, Bella Ramsey.
Bella Ramsey.
She was she was a huge standout in the episode she was in Game of Thrones when she was the littlest girl in a room with a bunch of tall ass men, and she had the biggest dick in the room. And that's how awesome she was as a character. And you can only imagine. So if she brings us to half as what she brought to with that one character there to what she play, and brings it to Ellie, we're going to have an amazing, different, unique Ellie that they're going to bring to life here, that she could bring to their life. And yeah, I think this is a crack cast a lot. And throw in the creator of the Chernobyl show, Craig Manson. oh god, that's just like, whew, this is building up to be one of my most hyped series whenever it's coming. With them, you got to think if they've got the cast, or they've got their main two, you got to think they're going to be going into production soon for this. So, if they can, obviously, but we'll see what happens.
Today I learned Pedro Pascal was also in Dishonored 2.
Oh, I did not
I
know that.
did not know that either. Yeah, it's a TV show based on a video game, so I'm keeping my expectations low, but I'm looking forward to watching it. You know, like TV shows, TV shows based on video games have been killing it recently. I started watching, and this is no joke, because it was on Netflix. I started watching Sonic Boom on Netflix. It's like 10-minute episodes. It's pretty decent, actually. I mean, you know, for a kids' cartoon about Sonic the Hedgehog, like, it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. I'll let you know. It's like 50 episodes a season or something. So it's like, yeah, it's like
but only 10 episodes. Episodes, so what?
It's like, it's
probably
probably
3 hours.
Probably like a normal season, but fucking a bajillion episodes for some reason. Anyway, Terraria cancelled on Stadia after developer gets locked out of his Google accounts. This is from Owen S. Good over at Polygon. He writes, the co-creator of Terraria has called off development of the game for Google Stadia following a 3-week stretch where he has been inexplicably locked out of all of his Google accounts. Andrew Sprinks gave the ultimatum early Monday after getting no response from Google since YouTube locked him out of his account in mid-January. The lockout has also cost Sprinks access to apps he's purchased on Google Stadia, wiped the data he stored in Google Drive, and terminated a Gmail account he's used for more than 15 years. Here's a quote from the 2 tweets that I wrote that was in the article. My phone has lost access to thousands of dollars of apps on Google Play. I just bought Lord of the Rings in 4K and can't finish it. My Google Drive data is completely gone. I can't access my YouTube channel. The worst of all is losing access to my Gmail address of over 15 years. I absolutely have not done anything to violate your terms of service, so I can take this no other way than you deciding to burn this bridge. Consider it burned. Terraria for Google Stadia is cancelled. My company will no longer support any of your platforms moving forward. Spring said he brought this to the attention of Google around January 16th, and the company has done nothing but given me the runaround since then. That was a quote. The game's official Twitter account tried to call YouTube's attention to the problem back in January, with apparently no help forthcoming. 2 days ago, fans noted that Terraria had gotten a rating and release date for Google Stadia from Europe's PEGI ratings agency. The only official word that Terraria was in works for the streaming platform came with Spring's cancellation announcement on Monday. Polygon reached out and didn't get a response from Google. Terraria is one of the games available when Google launched its Google Play Pass, basically the Android version of Apple Arcade, in the fall of 2019. Terraria, published by 505 Games, is still available on the Google Play Store. Whoops. Google did an oops.
Thing is, it's not, but it's they can fix this. They can fix. They can go into whatever they've done something to stop him being able to get to his films, his shows, his Google Drive, and everything like that. And they should be able to go in and fix this, unless it's a fundamental problem that they just don't want to tell him about for some weird reason, or if it's because of what's happening with Google Stadia, or whatever. Like, and as they're not speaking, it's just, and we're going off one person. He gets us like, we're going to side with the person who's speaking right now. Google, like, come on. You're a $1 trillion company. You can come out and literally just say, "How bad? We're gonna get this sorted for you as fast as possible," or "Fuck you, we don't want to," or something like that. We don't care. Just which side do you want here? We don't know Google Stadia. Come on, man.
Well, it's not like they've terminated it. They've been like, you know what? Because we're not doing Stadia anymore. See last week's podcast. Like, we're not going to publish this game on Stadia anymore. They've just been like, nah, all your stuff's been locked in, deleted. Like, I mean, if Steven Crowder still has a YouTube channel, there's no reason Andrew Spinks should be locked out of his Google accounts.
Oh, definitely, yeah. There's a ton of people who should not have a YouTube channel right now.
I know. I just went for the first one that came to my head. Of like, who do I say?
Who's a dick? Who's a dick on YouTube? Yeah,
so many.
Yeah.
Come
on, Google, you can sort this out, man. Stop
it's an easy fix. It's stupid that this is an issue, and like now it's cancelled Terraria on Google Stadia for all 3 people who are excited anyway, so it's okay. for that. Ridiculous. Google is a ridiculous company.
It's ridiculous.
Wow. I put a lot of stuff in here, didn't I? Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart launches June 11th on PS5. Insomniac Games. This is from Ryan Gilliam over at Polygon, who writes, Insomniac Games will launch Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, the gang's first new adventure in years. 5 to be exact. On June 11th, exclusively for PlayStation 5, the studio announced on Thursday. Originally revealed on June 11th, 2020, a year prior to its release date, the game will be available in a standard edition for $69.99 and a digital deluxe edition for $79.99. Insomniac had said during Gamescom last summer that Rift Apart would debut in the PS5's launch window. 7 months is a rather expansive window. The PS5 arrived in mid-November, but it's possible that Sony wants to hold off on releasing one of its highest-profile PS5 exclusives until the console is more readily available for customers to buy. In a PlayStation blog post, Insomniac said that Rift Apart is a brand new full-length adventure. It appears the studio has learned its lesson from last year's unclear announcement of the spin-off game Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After they clarified it up, it wasn't that hard to understand. But okay.
No, but let's be fair. There was a day. There was that like entire 24 hours when no one.
Oh yeah, I know. But they did come out and clear it up though at the same time.
They did. But this is an improvement.
Yeah, this is an improvement. Yes. But oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I've been looking forward to seeing when this game's going to come out. Even though I won't be able to really play it, unless Sammy wants to lend me a PlayStation 5. She's shaking her head, ladies and gentlemen, if you're an audio listener. So that's not happening. But no, yeah. Yeah, fantastic. Hopefully this is an easy high 80s points for me in OpenCritic and everything like that for me. But
always comes back to Fantasy Critic with you, doesn't it?
Hell yeah. But no, yeah, this is... I'm over the moon for this. I can understand what they are. I kind of agree with what the article's saying that 7 months is a rather expansive window, but I do believe that probably because they're wanting to get Sony's probably wanting to get more PlayStations out there.
Nah, Sony always releases a game. Well, not always. Sony always tries to release a game in the summer, right? Like,
yeah,
this is a thing that they do. Like, who even knows how many PlayStations people are gonna have?
So this, I think we've been saying this for a while.
Look, it's very easy.
I think this puts a stamp on the thing of that. Ladies and gentlemen, God of War Ragnarok is not this year at all.
No.
Like the fall game for PlayStation is Horizon
Gran Turismo.
2. And Gran Turismo.
No, not and Gran Turismo. It's just Gran Turismo.
Oh, you just think Gran Turismo?
I do.
So you still think Horizon's going to get pushed to 2022?
I do, yeah.
Damn, that'd be a bonkers year though if Horizon and God of War come out in 2022.
Oh yeah, big stuff.
That'd be a sexy year. But okay.
That would be a sexy year.
I still think Horizon will come out this year. But
remember, God of War and Spider-Man both came out in the same year as well. We don't even categorize that as a particularly strong year. Overall, that wasn't a particularly strong year. Yeah, no. The thing about the PlayStation 5s and like people having them, like it's very simple to work out. I mean, PlayStation 5 is the record-breaking, most successful selling PlayStation launch of all time that nobody can buy. It's that
because scalpers buy them all.
It's that simple. Because everyone who bought one was a scalper, and that's what made it so record-breaking. Like, I fucking hate the world sometimes. I really do. I'm not a scalper, by the way. This was paid for at RRP. I mean, when fucking places like CEX are still being like, hey, we'll give you like 700 quid for your PS5. Like,
and we'll sell it for 800 quid.
We'll sell it for 800. No, it's like,
Never go to CEX, ladies and gentlemen, who like to be called as sex, just so you know.
Yeah.
Because I did have a job interview
That
with them
is a
years
thing.
ago.
That is a thing.
They prefer to be called sex.
Because they're edgelords. Oh. I don't know why I was about to take a sip. As I was literally about to read the headline for the next thing, I was like, somehow I was going to inhale the water while reading the headline. I don't know what my brain was doing there.
I think you really just need to say the title, and then we can just get over it and just move on to the next one.
I'm going to read the story.
Oh,
look, right, if there was a sniff of a Dino Crisis rumor kicking around, you'd make me read the thing out.
No, I wouldn't actually.
Yeah, you would.
I would literally just say the byline and just let me go celebrating with popping the champagne and everything.
High horse. Down. Silent Hill interview pulled from YouTube after composer seemingly teases new entry. This is from Stephen T. Wright over at GameSpot, who writes... who writes? Because his name is Stephen Wright. Who writes? Silent Hill fans were overjoyed when longtime series composer Akira Yamaoka seemed to tease a new entry in the series in a recent video interview. However, the clip was later taken down by the original publisher Al Hub, who simply said that they were asked to remove the clip by an unspecified party. In the clip, Yamaoka stated that he was working on a new project that would be announced this summer and specifically said, quote, "I think it's the one you're hoping to hear about," end quote. This would seem to indicate the Silent Hill series, since Yamaoka is closely associated with that franchise. News of the clip's removal prompted some to point at Konami as the party who asked Al Hub to take down, given that the company has quashed similar rumours before. However, Konami told multiple sources, including Push Square, that they didn't communicate with Al Hub, suggesting that perhaps Yamaoka himself asked them to take it down. Silent Hill rumours have swirled for years at this point, with Konami outright stating last year that rumours of a Silent Hills reboot were not accurate. Recently, an unknown fan bought SilentHill.com as a response to the popularity of a certain Resident Evil Village character. Excuse me a second. SilentHill.com. Alright. I see what you did there. Very clever. More Silent Hill rumors.
Well, it's going to get announced this year, and we know it is.
I mean, we said that last year, and that didn't happen. SilentHill.com. Yeah. Very clever.
Respect.
I'm just pausing now for everybody who heard my reaction and heard your reaction and is listening to this podcast
and expecting everyone to go and check.
Gone to SilentHill.com, and I'm just letting them get it out, get the laughter out of their system.
Respect.
Okay,
I wanted to say 99% sure they're gonna get an announcement of a new Silent Hill game this year.
I mean, I hope
right
so.
Now.
Like, I'm numb to Silent Hill rumors at this point. Like, there was one a couple of weeks ago, and I was just like, I'm not even going to entertain that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not happening anymore. Like, the only reason I'm entertaining this one is because it was literally something that Akira Yamaoka, the composer of the sound on the Silent Hill series, said out loud.
Yeah.
On a video. Like, like at that point, at this point, that's the level you have to reach to get me to pay attention.
The person who's worked on the actual games before gets my attention.
That'll get my attention. Some insider comes out and says, "My dad's uncle's first cousin's newborn works at Konami," and says, and he says that Silent Hill's coming out in 2021, and it's going to be directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it's going to star Marilyn Monroe. It's going to be,
I would watch that.
It's going to be a silent game, all in black and white. Charlie Chaplin's going to be the main bad guy. Like, and it's going to be a visual novel. Like, I don't know. Fucking Silent Hill rumors. Just stop. Just give me the game. Just give
the thing is, though, ladies and gentlemen,
give me the game, please, God.
When we watch it during E3 and she sees the game, you will all hear her scream.
Oh, undoubtedly. Like when I actually see the game, like I'll lose my shit. But right now, I'm just sick of the rumor mill.
That's fair. I can understand that.
You gonna do your bit?
Times for games out next week, ladies and gentlemen. And you only have 2 games that are coming out next week because Amy put a third one in there, which I've spoken to the developer. It says no, it's not coming out this year. This is next week. It's coming out later on. Ha! I deleted it. She doesn't even know I did that.
I did. It tells me when someone edits the document.
Bollocks. February 16th, Fallen Legions Revenants?
Revenants.
Revenants. Thank you. PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. The world is covered in Miasma?
Miasma.
What's
that?
That's
a big deal?
Yeah, what the hell does miasma mean?
No, it's in a lot of Japanese games. No, it's in Neo, I think.
The remnants of mankind have taken refuge in a floating castle ruled by a madman. That sounds like what's happening in the world right now. But okay, swap between the cinematic politician Lucian and the vengeful ghost
Rowena.
Okay, and makes political maneuvers in the castle above as you fight off the monsters in the wastelands below. God, that was wordy. Nothing coming out on February 17th, please, or on February 18th. But on February 19th, Voyage on PC. To find their way home. 2 survivors' journey to unravel the mysteries of the past. See, that's not wordy. That's simple. It's to the point. Not too blah, 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 blah. It's like talking to one of my teachers.
Uh-huh.
Yo, the feedback you give me is just too wordy. Just simplify it. Dumb it down. How do I do this?
Like, when describing a game, though, I feel like you do need to go into a little bit more detail than one sentence.
I like that. Simple, to the point.
What kind of game is it?
It's a PC game.
Uh-huh. Do you have any interest in this game based on what you know of it? Which is
PC game. That's all we need to know.
The single sentence that's on here. I used to do this on my Xbox. When Fixer would read out the game descriptions.
Yeah, I remember
for new games, and I would just be like, "That's terrible. That's a terribly written explanation for a game. Like you meant to sell me on this game, right?"
Sold me on by having one sentence.
You need to actually tell me about the game.
It for giving me one sentence.
You need to actually tell me about the game. But see, now I'm going to be disappointed if in the weekly review, not this next one coming up on Monday, but the one after it, if you haven't played this game. Just to spite me.
You gave me a code for it, eh? That's cool.
Oh, yeah, sure, because that's the thing. Yeah. Don't even know he's publishing it. Oh, yeah, we didn't play OpenCritic head-to-head. This is the game where every single week myself and Mooney will try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever gets as closest gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. And last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Little Nightmares 2. Where we both based our guesses on what Moody said the OpenCritic average for the first game was, before he then checked later, and turns out he was wrong.
My plan worked!
So I guessed it would get a 69, Moody guessed it would get a 70. And Little Nightmares 2 at the time of recording has an OpenCritic average of 83, which means that Moody gets the point, which puts the current scores at Amy 2, Moody 1, with 1 draw.
The fight back is on, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess closest on the medium and Werewolf. Moody gets closest, obviously, on Little Nightmares 2, and the draw was Hitman 3. I've been playing Little Nightmares 2 today.
Have you got your copy, have you?
Yeah. I'll talk
more
about it on Monday.
You didn't like the first one, so...
I'll talk more about it on Monday. Oh, that's why I'm playing it, right?
Well, my copy says it's not coming until next week. It says it doesn't release for physical until the 19th.
Oh, no, I bought one.
You bought one.
It's only 25 quid, so I bought it.
I won't lie, I was tempted to buy it on PC, so I was like, I might do that.
Yeah. I set myself up for a for a punchline there, and then you interrupted, so I'm not going to do the punchline. This week, we're guessing the OpenCritic
Give us the punchline. Give us the
average.
punchline.
It's gone. The moment passed. This week, we're guessing the OpenCritic average of Fallen Legion Revenants. Do either of us know what this game is? No. Did Moody have trouble pronouncing it? Yes. But, that's the fun part of the game. We can do a game that neither of us knows anything about, and one of us will be right. Who?
Oh, one of us will be close.
Who knows? Moody, what do you think the OpenCritic average of Fallen Legion Revenants is going to be? I thought you'd frozen there. I was like, right at the end.
No! I wouldn't have to edit anything. Now I do.
I'd just pretend to be you. 6. Wow, Moody, that's really low. Single digits.
I'm in between two numbers here. I'm in between two numbers. So, trying to think here. So, okay.
One day I'm going to guess 100 just for the memes. It's technically possible.
That's true. That's true.
Ocarina of Time has a 99 on Metacritic.
It does. It does. It does. I'm gonna stick with what I had last week. 70.
7-0. That's what I was gonna say. So now I'm stuck between two numbers.
What, 71 or 69?
Yeah, pretty much. God damn it. I'm gonna reread this. I'm gonna reread this description here. The world is covered in miasma. A floating castle, swap between a charismatic politician and a vengeful ghost. Political maneuverings in the castle as you fight off monsters in the wasteland below. Like, I'm not stalling for time.
That's all.
Okay, interesting. That is literally all of the information. Genre: adventure, action, role-playing. I'm going to do the same thing you did and say the same number. Because it's funny. 69. So yeah, 70 versus 69 again. And we can't do Persona 5 Strikers because those reviews came out super early.
Oh yeah, super early.
Yeah, like I was surprised. I was like, wait, there are reviews of Persona 5 Strikers? When's that come out? And it's like, oh yeah, it comes out in fucking ages.
So confident they are.
Let's get pretty good reviews. So
yeah, it is. Yeah.
I don't know what to play next week because like I have no interest in the games that are coming out. So I might play some early access games. I have a few that I've never touched. I downloaded Grounded. I was playing Grounded with a friend the other day. Yeah. Well, so what happened was, I've got a ton of games installed on my Xbox, obviously. And I have the setting ticked on my Xbox, which is like, please keep my games up to date at all times, so that I can play them whenever I want to. So when I met up with my friend, and she was like, what should we play? And I was like, I don't know. What games have you got installed? Meet her. And she went, oh, what about Apex? And I clicked it. 50 gigabyte update. What about Halo, the Master Chief Collection? And I clicked that. 40 gigabyte update. What about Monster Hunter World? Nah, I had to delete it. To make space for something. I don't remember. And literally, like, I clicked Halo 5, and I was like, that doesn't have an update. We could play that. And she was like, yeah, no, I don't really want to play Halo 5. And I was like, yeah, fair. And then it was like, my best option was literally to download an entirely different game, because that was like going to take 20 minutes as opposed to like 5 hours to update a different game. So I was like, okay, well, we play Grounded then. So we play Grounded.
Sweet.
Legit, like, fuck modern video games, fuck patches, and fuck my Xbox, which I've told multiple times to make sure all of my games are always up to date, and it never fucking does.
Or we could do this, Amy, for next week.
I'm not doing Mass Effect.
I'm not doing Mass Effect. I wasn't even thinking about Mass Effect, even though
You're
I
always
have been
thinking
playing.
about Mass Effect.
I do. I've been looking at the game Voyage. You can play it cooperatively. It's on Steam.
What kind of game is it?
And it looks like an Amy game. It's cutesy art style. We can go halves.
We can go halves. But if it's a
Halves
co-op game, don't we need to buy a copy each?
Oh, Smeg, yeah. I remember that. I forgot about that loophole. I thought about not loophole, that gag order. I forgot about that. So yeah, it doesn't. The thing is, it doesn't tell you the price. On Steam. They're hiding it from us, Amy.
No, indie games generally don't have pre-purchase, so they generally don't have a price.
You gotta think it's probably what going to be about £10 or £15.
With a friend to guide two survivors and explore the world of Voyage in a seamless cooperative experience. Seek answers in a mysterious, wordless journey. Non-violent, with an emphasis on exploration over violence. Voyage can be enjoyed by anyone.
Could stream it together, hold hands and everything.
It's against the law.
That's true. She said, "Thank you, the law." The full controller support, unlike Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 do as original PC games.
That's why we play these games on consoles.
I know. Well, that's why I've bought the Legendary Edition on PC, because I was full control support this time. I tried Mass Effect 1 on PC as on keyboard and mouse. Oh, that's clunky as hell.
I'm not going to say it.
But I've still got Andromeda installed on my PC, because that has full control support. So I'm tempted to go back to Andromeda, Amy.
Yeah. Using a controller on Andromeda is going to be the only reason why it doesn't feel as clunky as Mass Effect 1. There's not another reason why Mass Effect 1 felt clunky.
Oh, the shade from Amy tonight.
I mean, it's not shade, it's just a fact. I like Mass Effect 1 like really a lot, but yeah, it is a clunky game. It's clunky.
Oh yeah, I don't deny that. No, but I'm looking forward to see what they've done to it. They're saying like they've done a lot of significant things to it, so hopefully the gameplay is more tighter and everything. That they did say they've messed around with the gameplay and everything. So
I've clicked on. I clicked on Twitter, right? Because I was like, oh, I'll check out the developer on Twitter and see if they've a Voyage, and see if they've like put the price up for the game.
You found out they're sexist, racist, haven't you?
No, I haven't. My Twitter UI, I think it's in Gaelic now. I'm not even kidding. I want to see if I can show this, because this has never happened to me before. Like, look at the UI on the side where it's supposed to say home and notifications.
Oh yeah,
messages.
Have you been hacked?
No, I think the
Have the hackers got bored and decided to hack you?
And all they've done is change Twitter to Gaelic. I think it's Gaelic.
Also, Twitter in general. I don't have a Twitter, but I can still get on Twitter. So let's see what it comes up with. What's happening? That's coming up with English on my end. So it's weird. That's weird, isn't it?
I don't know. It's throwing me off though. I'm checking it into Google Translate now. I want to see what it says. Irish. It's Irish.
Okay.
I think it's because the Twitter hang on, I think this Twitter page was originally in it. So the Twitter feed I think is in Irish. Like their tweets are in Irish, and I think what it's done is it's for some reason Twitter has detected I'm on an Irish Twitter account, and it's gone, you must want to read the rest of Twitter in Irish. Because I've just gone to twitter.com and it's fine now. Sync in English again. That was a journey.
That was a journey indeed, Amy. But yay or nay on Voyage?
So we should end the podcast now.
Yeah,
right?
let's end the podcast before we decide on things for our lives in the future. For future you and me, future Moody and Amy's
I've got an early
job.
start again tomorrow. Like,
oh God, I don't. I'm off now. I went back for 1 week, and they got sick of me already. And they said to have half term now.
No comment.
If you were truly sick of me, Amy, you would have replaced me by now.
That's true.
That's true.
But I'm still allowed to joke
incredibly lazy.
I'm still allowed to joke about it, right? I'm still allowed to joke about it. I'm still going to joke about one, really.
Well, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And I also am pretty fucking lazy.
That's true.
That is going to do it for episode 243 of the Words About Games podcast. I need to go pee, so we're gonna motor on through this outro and get the fuck out of here. Let's not talk about war crimes next week, please. Video game industry, give me that one at least.
Oh, sexist companies, bullies.
I mean, I don't want to ask for too much.
Vile peoples in general. Let's just talk about video games and go, yay!
Like on Monday.
Yay.
We'll certainly be talking about video games on Monday. So.
Yes!
Come check that out. I'm going to pee my pants.
Yes.
So let's say, see you later.
See you later, alligator. And she's liking it, ladies and gentlemen.